Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Booktube Chicks Book Club for May. Tonight we are discussing You're Invited by Amanda Jayatissa. And as usual, I am here with my co hosts Desiree and Kathleen, who are going to introduce themselves in just a moment. If you've never been to one of our live shows before, basically the way it works is for the first 5 to 10 minutes, we're going to do initial thoughts on the book, which are spoiler free. And then after that, we will go into a spoiler discussion. So, Desiree, since you're right next to me, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and get started.
Hello, my name is Desiree. You can find me at LibriLabra on all the things like Instagram and YouTube and TikTok and X and Threads. And as far as like initial thoughts, this book was messy. Like the characters were really messy. They weren't very likable. I feel like it switched things up kind of midway through the book. Like you felt like it seemed like it was heading in one direction, and then midway through the book, it was like a completely different direction. So it just felt really messy to me. I guess my rating is 3 stars. I'm a little reluctant, but also like I know it's a diverse author, so I don't want to give it 2 stars. But yeah, 3 you'll have to do.
We can talk about that later, but I think it's weird that you don't want to give her 2 star just because she's a diverse author. I enjoyed this book. I thought it was entertaining. I do agree that it is messy and some of the characters are not likable at all, like our main character. But I had fun reading this book, and I usually rate by how entertained I am. I'm not a critical reader at all. And I had fun reading this book, so I gave it 4 stars.
And my name is Chloe. You're on my channel. I also gave this book 4 stars. And I'm not sure if I'm ready to admit Desiree's claims that I am a closet thriller girly. Because of this book club, I've read more thrillers, especially this year, than I would ever pick up on my own. I still probably would not pick up a thriller on my own unless it was from an author that I've read from before and really enjoyed, such as John Mars. But that being said, I gave this book 4 stars. I liked the format of this book where we get set up with the present, like set the scene for what's happening, and then we go to the past and we build from there. And it's also the chapters are cut in with interviews from witnesses and people related to the bride who is missing. And our main character, Amaya, is the suspect. And I enjoyed it. I overall felt it was very entertaining. I agree that it was very messy. The random intrusive thoughts from our main character definitely had me questioning whether this was considered an unreliable narrator or not, mostly because I had a challenge to read a book with an unreliable narrator. But based off of other reviews, I'm going to say yes, unreliable narrator. But overall, I enjoyed it. I do want to say I think I was a little confused by the ending, but I might not have just been paying enough attention to the audiobook at that time. But we can talk about that in the spoiler section. So, moving into the spoiler section, what do you guys want to talk about?
I think that's also a little bit of what I feel like. I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt in regards to like I was listening to it primarily in audio. There were moments where I like picked it up and I was reading it, but I'm willing to say that maybe there were parts that I missed, which is why I'm still leaning on the 3. But I think the first half of the book just seemed like it was gearing up to make Amaya seem like the villain. and it was leaning really heavily on that. And then all of a sudden, the second half of the book, we start getting into like other people's perspectives a little bit more, and then it just starts going in like 11 billion different directions. And I don't know. I don't think it was like super well done because none of it felt believable. It's like I didn't care enough about the characters to be concerned about whether or not they were the one that did the thing. And like everybody was just kind of a jerk. Like there wasn't anybody that I was rooting for, I was hoping for. And then Amaya was being used. The bride was a bitch. Like it was just not that I need likable characters necessarily, but you still want to have an investment in the characters. And I just didn't feel invested in any of the characters because they were all kind of shitty.
So as I like on the same day that I started this, I actually saw somebody's Instagram story that they had finished it and they gave it 2 stars. And I messaged them and I was like, oh, I'm reading this for my book club right now. And they said the first half they thought was boring, but the second half was more interesting, which I can definitely see what they mean by that. There was a lot happening in that second half.
But I feel like the first half, while there wasn't, I feel like it was more mystery and I was more intrigued by like, whoa, what is this girl doing? And I don't like how the author set it up. Like first she's having these like really weird sexual encounters, and then not weird, I mean like not to yuck anyone's yum, but like she was she was having these sexual encounters where like she didn't know who the person was and she was blindfolded, and then like it wasn't just her intrusive thoughts, like she burned herself with a curling iron. Like that's not an intrusive thought. At that point you're taking action, and like for what reason? Like why? It just like they painted her as like having these mental health issues, and then she was kind of like used as a scapegoat because she seemed to have these mental health issues. And in the first half of the book they were making it seem like Amaya had all these major issues with the fact that Kavi, that was the girl's name, yeah, that Kavi was marrying Spencer. But then after the middle, it totally switched it up, and it was like her trying to protect her best friend. Like I don't think that was done well.
Okay, so I think what I'm understanding is that from what you're explaining to me, it seems like you maybe had issues with the pacing of the story, and maybe like the plot itself was messily written.
I think it was more about the characters. The characters just didn't
because I see where you're coming from. Like for me, in terms of what you said, I agree that I feel like the pacing of the book was maybe not done well. I do feel like you're kind of right, where in the first half it feels like it's one thing, and then it all of a sudden it switches over to something else, and maybe the pacing of the story could have had a little more polish. But also for me personally, I had the audiobook and the ebook, and I feel like the narrator of the audiobook made me not like the characters. But I usually sometimes narrators will kill a book for me, and I will rate lower than I normally would.
I don't disagree with that. That's probably totally possible as well.
So I don't think I rated it unfairly based on the narrator in this case, but I do feel like sometimes the narrator made, for example, at least for me, the main character aggravating. Like I did not like this main character as I should with a main character, and I think that part of the reason why was because of the narrator. The way she portrayed the character just made her seem really snobby and really.
But did you like any of the characters? Because like like there's not even one that I could be like, oh, that was a good
I think I liked Kavi. I don't think I had an issue with her per se. I did like her. I like that she was portrayed as like this strong independent woman who's being forced to marry against her will because she wants to keep her image and her family's reputation intact or whatever, and then this white man comes and tries to ruin everything. I do like Kavi. Do I think she was written perfectly? No, but I did like Kavi as a character. So I did not like Spencer at all. I don't think he has any redeeming qualities at all for me. But yeah,
it just seemed like I don't know, when I'm reading a book, I feel like I want to have some kind of balance, because like not everybody in the world is rude or nasty or arrogant, or like there's good and bad, and not necessarily in this like black and white kind of way, but we have like many shades of gray. But it's like once it switched over and we started seeing from Kavi's perspective, and then we were hearing from Spencer, like once we learned that like Spencer was a narcissist and he was broke and now he has this crazy family history, and Kavi's got all this stuff going on with her business, and then all of a sudden the dad is doing these weird things, and he was like,
girl, you need to change your rating. This is not three-star feelings, okay? This is lower. You need to change your rating.
They're not 3-star.
The way you're hating on this book is a 2-star rating, okay?
It's not a 3-star rating based off of the Goodreads saying of what a 3-star is. Because 3-star on Goodreads is I liked it.
You did not. No, this is the way she's ranting. This is a 2-star rating in anybody's rating system. Wait, but you didn't like any other characters at all in this book? Not even, I don't know.
No. Maybe like, I mean, if I had to pick someone, the guy who like she got fired, I think he ended up dead too. He seemed like he deserved nothing, didn't deserve any of that. Like
the one insignificant side character is the one that you like. This is a 2-star feeling. Okay, you're rating it. Just you should put on your review 3 stars with 2-star feelings.
I don't know. I felt like I was being too harsh, but also like when.
But your feelings are valid. It should be. People should know that you really feel like it's a 2-star, or at least less than 3.
When I had messaged you and you were like, "Oh, how are you liking it?" and I said it's feeling like it was feeling like a 3-star when I said that. But the closer I got to the end of the book, I was like, maybe this is a 2-star. But I feel like I don't know.
But okay, what's making you hesitate between the 2 and the 3? Because for me, it's clear that you have 2-star feelings. So what's making you hesitate?
I don't know. Was this a debut? I don't know if it was.
I don't think so. I remember looking her up and she had other books.
Okay, well, we can ask the question, what did I like about it?
No, she wrote one other book.
Like previously?
Correct.
Or after this?
So this one was 2022 release. Before she had a book called My Sweet Girl that was released in 2021. And she just released a third book called The Island Witch. And it was it got published in February of this year. So this You're Invited was her second book.
So I liked that it took place in Sri Lanka.
It seems it is like her. It looks like her other books are also like set not in the United States, And I did enjoy seeing some of the family dynamics that does not portray like a typical American family or just a different family culture. I did like that. And I did like that her dad was more supportive of her than her mom was. Her mom annoyed me sometimes. And then the whole aunties, portrayal was very entertaining to me.
So I also like that. Sorry, Chloe, go ahead.
I was going to say, can someone just rehash the ending for me? Because I think I got confused because at first it was like, okay, it has something to do with Spencer, and then it was like something to do with her mom. And I need clarification.
I thought it was Spencer who did it, wasn't it? Or did I get
Spencer,
the whole thing wrong?
Spencer, who did what? What are we talking about?
Who killed Kavi, or why she was missing, or whatever. God, because I have another book in my head, because I see, this is why I leave books for the last minute, because I forget everything.
I'm gonna look it up.
She was gonna leave, but her mom stopped her, and then she involved Amaya,
right? So that she can escape the marriage.
So she didn't actually. Nothing happened to her. Like I thought for a good portion of the book, I thought she was dead.
Right, yes. And then it turns out, and she got Amaya involved, and she was going to like run away for a while. She was going to disappear. But I remember see.
So at the beginning of the story, there was like a lot of stuff around Amaya. Like they were making her look.
Oh, okay. So what I remember,
and somebody had died.
So what I remember was that Spencer was broke. Remember, and then he was embezzling money or whatever it was from his company. Like he had no money left, and he was trying to take over her position in the company.
Yep.
And that's why she was trying to stop the marriage. That's what I remember. I remember that Spencer in the end was the one that was the bad guy. That's all I remember.
Okay.
But I thought you were talking about how the mom set things up so that one guy ended up dying.
I don't remember that part. Go ahead.
Basically, like, I guess in the beginning it was off page, but the mom was bringing it up that Kavi was sleeping with one of Amaya's other boyfriends, and their mom had put something in the alcohol, in the vodka or something, and he ended up drinking it instead of I think it was supposed to like knock Kavi out so she wouldn't go anywhere.
Oh, he's the one who ended up dead, right?
Yeah. Okay. And I think that fell on Amaya, like him drinking and like driving home and like dying, and somehow she ended up being responsible for it. Or
right, and isn't that why she got like shunned or whatever it was?
Yeah. Yeah, but like apparently the whole time, like the mom was just orchestrating things and like just trying to put Amaya near her daughter so that she could always take the downfall whenever her daughter did something not great.
But Spencer died in the end, didn't he?
Yeah. Amaya killed him.
Yeah, and then her Kavi said that she saved her or something. I remember something distinctly like that. Okay.
Maybe that's why I got confused, because the mom orchestrated all this stuff, but she didn't like actually do anything at the end.
And I'm pretty sure that the mom got the gun that Kavi gave Amaya, and Amaya shot Spencer with.
I gotta stop reading books before. I gotta read it right before the book club, because I'm as fresh on my high.
You were reading it on Sunday, like you were only barely
I finished it on Sunday, and then I'm already almost done with another book, which is why I don't like that. I need to have the book be done, be the last book I read before our lives.
So when I say like it was messy, there was just so many threads, like just so many threads that like for what reason? Like you have you have Kavi being an influencer, and then she's doing this marriage of convenience, and Spencer was Amaya's ex-boyfriend. Then there's this baby, and they're trying to make it look like
was weird. I will admit that. I was like, I feel like the influencer part of the story did not add anything to the story. So I do agree with you on that.
And then she had her own, Kavi had her own business she was working on. Then it was like their family business, something was going on. Then the dad did something with some dude, and Spencer was trying to blackmail him with photographs. And then they were like, they thought that Kavi's dad had a baby with Amaya, but it was actually Spencer's baby. Like, it was just like so many things happening that it was so like, for what? It was too much.
to keep you on your toes.
Oh my god. It didn't, I don't know. It felt unbelievable. And you know what it reminded me of? And this is why I was going to give it 2 stars, because it reminded me of Lightlark.
You should still give it.
It reminded me of Lightlark.
Lightlark was so fun to read.
I can't get over with Lightlark. I can't get over the eggy yolky thing or whatever it was. Not once, twice. She said something thing, and I'm like, no.
I agree. But I mean, I agree with you. But again, for me, it's just the pacing of the story and the plot line not being polished. Yes, I do agree. There's a lot of things being thrown at you, and maybe she could have omitted some stuff, like the whole thing. I mean, I guess the whole thing with the dad being secretly like closeted gay, and then Spencer blackmailing the dad, and then that makes sense.
So was he just gay? Because I swore that Spencer was saying that her dad forced himself on the guy. Like, I feel like I remember
so
hearing
a closeted
it was
gay
beyond...
rapist. Okay. A closeted gay rapist. Got it.
And then it was like, wait, he did this, but he also had a baby with Amaya? Like, I thought the baby was Kavi's dad.
A closeted bisexual. I mean, yes, I do agree there's a lot, because not only is he closeted gay, but he also like sexually assaulted some poor kid. So yeah, there's a lot of things that get thrown at us, and I feel like, yeah, she could have omitted some of the stuff, because I feel like she was going more for shock value. But I still really enjoyed reading the book. And a lot of these things I didn't even notice. I mean, I guess in the back of my mind I was noticing, I was like, why is there so much happening? But I didn't notice until you started bringing it up about how there's so much stuff happening. You with your 2-star feelings. When you rate this book on Goodreads, I want to be like 3 stars with 2-star reading. I'm going to comment under so everybody knows.
Oh,
at that point, just mark it 2 stars.
Right.
It just feels like,
because at this point it feels like you're trying to pick something that you like to validate your 3-star rating.
I finished it.
You had no choice. You had to.
I didn't DNF it. Like,
do you ever DNF books? Like, genuine question.
Like, officially?
Yes. Wait, would this be one of the books that you put down and then it will stay on your currently reading for like years, and then you come back in a few years?
I don't count that as a DNF. Like, I don't know if I can think of a book that I was like, no, F it, I don't care enough to finish this. I can't think of one. Like, there's definitely books that I've been like, I've lost interest in, but I've been like, I'll go back to it later. But I can't think of a book where I was like, nope, I hate this, I don't want to read it. Because I know at some point I kind of just wanted this book to be over. But I don't know.
Yeah. You're making me question my rating. But I really enjoyed this book.
I mean, if you enjoyed it, you enjoyed it. I just, I mean, I think you're right, though. I think the narrator did probably like make me find the characters more irritating than they were. But I still can't get over how things were switched up. Like, I just feel like, why did we make Amaya look like she had all these mental health issues? And then the wording is important because we're in her mind, right? So we're like hearing some of her inner dialogue where she's basically saying that she's upset at her best friend. Like, how could her best friend do this? Blah, 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 blah. And then it just switches to, oh, I gotta save her. She doesn't know how bad Spencer is. Like, why would you be fooling yourself like that in your own mind? Like, it should have been done better, I think. Why was she burning herself with a curling iron? Like, what There was something else that she did that I thought was really weird. I mean, there were definitely intrusive thoughts where she was like, "Oh, if I punch this person in the face, what would happen?" Or some weird things like that. But she goes to this wedding. The family doesn't want to hear from her. I really thought that maybe she at some point was going to take her daughter back, but that doesn't happen either. Like she didn't even want her daughter back.
I mean, okay, so isn't she like a masochist, Maya? Because the whole thing with that guy that she sees, like where he blindfolds her, he takes control, and then he spanks her.
Does he hurt her?
With a
Is
belt?
that like...
With the belt. I'm pretty sure that's what they do. So I mean, that's a little bit. It would explain why she was okay with burning herself. So
I would have to reread that scene because it seemed like just like super random that she was just like she just grabbed the curling iron and like pressed it against her ankle and was like, what just happened? Like, why did that just happen? I don't understand. And then like the impression that I got was that she does stuff with this guy and never sees him, right? So she doesn't even know what he looks like.
Right, she's never seen him before. She contacts him whenever she wants to see him, but she's never actually seen him before. And I think at the end of the book, with everything that happened, I think she actually she asked to meet him.
Did you guys not feel bad for Amaya? Like,
in what way?
I mean, at some point it seemed like Amaya had genuine feelings for Kavi and genuine concern. Obviously, she was like, she went there to save her and like killed Spencer. But with the dialogue between the mother and Kavi, it seemed like Kavi was only pretending to be her friend, like a surface level friend, not with the same depth that Amaya cared about her. So I just felt like Amaya was being used the entire time.
I didn't get that vibe, but I see what you're saying.
I mean, I was going to say maybe she was. I mean, I guess it's up to interpretation at that.
Well, did you feel like Kavi seemed like a genuine friend?
I feel like Kavi is definitely a different person than the persona that she puts on. However, with like I think there was like because the sister invited Amaya to the wedding. So I think Kavi was just in a place of there's a lot of confusion here with Amaya, but I also need to get out of this wedding and also protect my business.
Oh, we're just now bringing up the sister, but that was a whole other thing too, with the sister pretending to be Kavi and talking to Amaya and like...
Yeah, what was up with that?
Just messy. Like, I don't know if it was like...
I feel like that should be your whole review. Messy. And then change it to 2 stars. Change your rating to 2 stars and write messy.
Oh my god. I don't know. I think like...
I don't think that they were genuine friends. Like, just me personally. I don't think... I think they might have been friends at the end, based on like what Maya went through, and Kavi obviously. I mean, obviously it all started with Kavi, but with Kavi also, standing, letting the cops know or whoever that she was protecting her with Spencer killing Spencer. But I don't think they were genuine friends, not even in the beginning. It's just
right.
I think they were like the fake friends. The ones that you're nice with face to face, but when you turn around, you don't even think about them anymore.
It must have been something like that if she was like willing to sleep with her boyfriend and the mom knew about it.
Yeah.
And then wasn't there like a cousin or something?
Listen, there's so many people in this family. I can't keep up with it. There were all the aunties. I don't even know their names. I just call them aunties. There's a sister, Kavi, Spencer, the mom, the dad. I don't know.
What was the daughter's name? Was it Nadia? Am I making that up? Oh.
I want to say yes. Yeah.
Do you think it's weird that they wanted to keep her baby?
I mean, I think they were kind of helping her in a way, because was she even in a place that she could take care of the baby?
No, but like it's weird to me the way the mom was talking about Amaya at the end of the book. I feel like to take someone and adopt someone's kid, like you kind of need to really care about them and their situation, and like I don't know. Like it didn't seem like she really cared about Amaya in that way. And I think that was just my issue with the characters in general, that it just seemed like they weren't realistic. They didn't have like motives that made sense. Like they just kind of just didn't make sense in all their actions and in all the things that they were doing. Like they were all somewhat unreliable.
As you said, messy.
Would you guys read anything previously by her or her new book?
I mean, I think it'll depend on what it's about.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's like an author that sticks to thrillers or not.
Did it look like the other two books were thrillers, Kat?
It seems so, yeah.
I wonder if I'm thinking of the right book for The Island Witch. Hold on. Yeah, I've seen that cover. Sounds interesting.
Yeah, I think The Island Witch is not. It sounds more. It's not thriller-ish. It doesn't sound like it. But the other
like
book, yes.
Paranormal, I guess. It says folklore, witch and wizard, mythology. I wonder who narrates the book.
I've seen the other book before, the My Sweet Girl book.
Really?
I recognize that cover, I feel like.
My Sweet Girl. I might, but I think I recognize the other one more. They both have 4 stars on Amazon.
I don't trust Amazon ratings.
You trust Goodreads more?
Yes. More than Amazon, yes.
Is there anything else we want to talk about with this book? This messy book?
Desiree, did you get all your feelings out? All your 2-star feelings out?
I think so.
Girl, it is okay to admit when you don't like a book. Or to rate a
Wait,
book
hold on.
low.
I didn't say I didn't like it. Those are really, really strong feelings.
That's
Desiree,
listen. If I didn't like it at all, that's a 1 star. 2 star.
Then there you go.
Okay.
You and your 2-star feelings.
I will give it a 2 star. 2 stars was right, but I'm not gonna say I didn't like it because that's mean, and that's not true. It's not. It's like I didn't dislike it.
I like that you're trying to convince yourself.
right. I'm gonna go with Kat on this one.
I feel like, did I just 1-star something recently?
Did you?
I don't know.
I was
need
I was
to
gonna
look.
ask you, when was the last time I was gonna ask you, have you ever given a book a 1-star?
Oh yeah, I've definitely at least once or twice. Or maybe it was, did I give something 2 stars recently? I don't know. I rated something low recently and I was just like, I didn't like it. My Goodreads is not loading though.
Is it actually on your Goodreads? Because I don't trust your Goodreads.
What do you mean?
Because you keep things on you're currently reading until you have time to.
No, I actually
and I don't like
rated
that.
it because I was looking through my Goodreads yesterday because I was giving somebody recommendations for something, and I was like, "Oh, I rated that low." My books. I was just telling Chloe that I'm probably bringing this to the book swap.
Oh, you bought this book? Okay.
Yeah, I got it from. I like the cover. The cover's cool looking. The way it looks like a wedding invite.
Mm-hmm.
While she looks for that, Kat, do you want to do final thoughts?
Sure. So You're Invited was my pick for this month. I'm sorry that Desiree did not like it. Her 2-star feelings, but I enjoyed it. Yes, the book is not perfect. There are issues with it, as we mentioned on this on the live. I felt like the pacing was off, or the plot line was just like all over the place. As we mentioned, there were things that just popped up, and I feel like the author was just going for shock value, like the dad being a closeted gay, bisexual, whatever, who sexually assaulted a younger man before, or just random pieces of information that were thrown out there to make a point for that particular scene, and then we never talk about it again. Yeah, so I do agree that the plot line and the pacing was just like messy, as we talked about, but I still personally had a lot of fun reading this book, and I usually rate my books based on how I feel at the end of it, because I'm not a critical reader. I rate based on enjoyment, and I really did enjoy this book. I thought it was fun to read, and for the most part, the book I just was entertained. So I did give this book 4 stars. Again, it is not by any means a masterpiece. If I were to critically rate it, I would not rate it as high. But I did have fun reading it, so it is a 4-star. And I will read the other books by this author. Her new book that just came out, The Island, which sounds really, really interesting.
So I give this 2 stars. Messy. That's all I have to say.
Just what Kat wanted. I gave this book 4 stars. I enjoyed it while I read it. I really think I think actually remembering I did a combination of audiobook and ebook, but I think I like mostly listened to the audiobook. But I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was. I do agree that it's messy, that it has its issues. Am I suddenly gonna go read all the thrillers? No. But for what it was, I give it 4 stars. Excuse me. And on that note, actually, I need to pull up our stuff for next month because I know we had to change the date. Okay. So, for June, we are going to be reading The Summer Place by Jennifer Weiner. Just a nice summary book to start off the season. I have no idea what this is about. I probably knew at one point, but I don't know anymore. I just know that it is contemporary. And our live show is going to be on a different date as today's was. We're going to be talking about this book on June 29th at 7 p.m. I don't know what day of the week that is. I think it's a Wednesday. But June 29th at 7 p.m. is when we will have our live discussion for this book. And then
June 29th is a Saturday. Is that what we agreed on?
I don't
Because
remember.
you said Wednesday, so I'm just making sure we're doing the right day.
I probably thought it was a Wednesday, but it's probably not a Wednesday, but it should be June 29th.
Okay.
Let me check. Yes, Saturday, June 29th. I think it's because today is Wednesday that I'm off. Okay. Saturday, June 29th at 7 p.m. Oh, it's at 7 because I work that day. That's why. But we're going to have our live discussion for this book. And then also, let me pull it back up. The next Pages and Pals, which is the three of us hanging out and reading whatever we're currently reading, is going to be on June 14th at 8 p.m. And that's going to be on Kat's channel, which is linked in the description below. And then Desiree and I do not have a quarterly romance pick for a bit. But her channel is also going to be linked down in the description below. But thank you all for coming and chatting this messy book together. Desiree is going to go rate it a 2. But thank you all so much, and we will see you next time. Bye.